So let's jump back just one more time into the patristic era to try and understand a little bit more about the Christology that helps us navigate our faith and our life and our following of Jesus. So far we've understood that Jesus is fully divine, he is fully human, he is one person with two natures. He doesn't have this two-person identity. He is one person with two natures. But now we have to figure out the theology of Eyticus. Now Eyticus took the one-person part of Jesus and really ran way too far with that. And so he gave the early church another challenge to try and address. So here's a little bit of Eyticus' theology, which helps us understand what is not accurate thinking and helps us get that off the table so that we're more likely to believe the truth. So Eyticus believed Jesus is fully divine and Jesus is fully human, and that he is one person with two natures. But this is where he trips up. When he says that Jesus has two natures, what he proposes is this, is that the divine nature of Jesus and the human nature of Jesus are blended together. And the illustration that we can use for this is to say, for example, that the divine nature is yellow, right? So that's the color of God's divine nature. Let's just imagine that for a minute. And then the human nature of Jesus is blue. So you take the yellow and you take the blue and you pour the blue into the yellow, you join them together in the body of Jesus, and when you mix blue and yellow you get green. So that was Eyticus' proposal, is that there's this blending together of the eternal divine nature and the temporal human nature of Jesus, and the yellow and the blue become green. And you might be thinking, well, that sounds actually not too bad. Does that work? Well, actually no, it doesn't work, and here's why. Because if you take the divine nature of Jesus, which would be the yellow, for example, and you put the blue human nature into it and blend it together, what would happen actually is that the blue would, for the most part, completely disappear, because the divine nature, the divine being, the divine substance of our Lord is eternal and infinite and timeless and without end. Whereas human nature, human being, human personhood is temporal and finite and local and small and created. So the creation would get basically swallowed up in the creator if you were to blend them together. So that's a problem. Another problem is if you have the yellow and the blue and it makes green, and then Jesus arrives as the one who is green, then he is neither yellow nor blue. He's neither fully divine nor fully human. He's a third kind of hybrid. He's a mixture of both. So he's actually not human. And that's a problem, because we're all blue, but Jesus would be green, and that's not really the point of the gospel. The point is that Jesus is fully blue, just like we're blue, but he's also yellow. He's divine and human. Okay, so get past the colour piece and realise that Eyticus was proposing a theology of blending. And then what was the response to that? Well, again, he was referred to Chalcedon, where we are reminded in the documents that the two natures of Jesus, the divine and the human nature, are without confusion, without change, without division, and without separation. So there's a distinction in who Jesus is within his natures, but it's indivisible and unconfused. And again, we have to be careful not to try and overspeak at this point. But all that to say is that the Christology that we have inherited has been long struggled over and taught and developed by people who have given their heart and soul to this over the centuries, and we're privileged to be the church community in these days to build upon it and be nourished by it. For the next few weeks we're moving into Advent, and so what I want to do is maybe not jump so deeply into new theology, but what I want to do is give us a Advent meditation each week, and hopefully it will be nourishing and refreshing and give us some perspective on the season that we are moving towards together. So until Advent time, I'll see you soon. Peace.